Hello everyone. Today we are going to be talking about red team versus blue team. What side are you on? If you do not know, you'll probably have a better idea by the end of this video. We are going to look at what is a blue team, what is a red team, what are the individual exercises that a red team or a blue team does, what purple teaming is, and what are the skill sets that are that each team has. Blue team, red team are based on the attacking and defending sides of any architecture. Blue team being the defensive, while red team is the defensive. The objective of the red team is to break through the architecture, and the goal of the blue team is to defend it. Blue team consists of professionals whose mindsets are defensive. Their job is to defend against cyber attacks and threats on the network, on on any infrastructure, sometimes even physical security. Their main objective is to protect the assets of the organization against different threats. They need to be well versed in the overall goals of the firm or organization, what security strategy that they have adopted, and their mission is to ensure that the security is reinforced so that there is no or minimal breach in the defenses. Blue team use strategies and equipments as a countermeasure to guard the infrastructure from cyber attacks. Depending on the scenario, they may use firewalls or go for something like such as training their staff on attacks such as social engineering. A red team. Red team consists of professionals whose objective is to break into a system. They want to break through the defenses set by blue team, or they are testing the system's defenses. Either it's a new system, so it does not have any defenses in place, so they need to know the severity or what exactly they need to protect. Yeah, their objective is to overcome the security that is in place. They use information that they gain from different attacks to further plan more elaborate attacks. Like they first gain information on their targets, such as using tools such as OSINT, find out more about their target, use their weaknesses that they have found through that information gathering process, and simulate an attack. They look for holes and vulnerabilities in the infrastructure, and they use a wide range of tools to exploit them, such as Jack the Ripper is a password or a username brute forcing tool. Now we look at the skill sets that a blue team or a red team has. We'll start with the blue team. A blue team needs to understand what the security strategy in the organization is, that is either people, the tools, or the technologies that they have in place. They need to have analytical skills to identify the threats that they are looking for when they are reviewing logs, what do you call anomalies in say a web app, such as a phishing page, etc. And then they need to prioritize the responses depending on the threat they have found. They will also use techniques such as hardening, in terms of, if you're talking about ports, close ports that are not being used. Do not leave any open unnecessarily. And finally, they need to pay quite amount of attention to the tools that they do keep in place. Yes, tools do make your work easier, but again, you need to monitor them so that they are effective. Red team. The skills that they need to be aware of a lot of computer systems and protocols that are used to safeguard these the infrastructure, the security techniques that are in place to defend an infrastructure network. They need to have good software development skills in order to develop custom tools, scripts to automate attacks and make it more difficult for a defensive team to defend. They need to be experienced penetration testers, which allow them to look for common vulnerabilities and avoid being monitored or detected that they were in a system. They should not leave a footprint. And finally, they need to have social engineering skills. They need to be good at phishing. They need to be able to extract information from individuals who unknowingly divulge information. Exercises that blue team and red team carry out. The blue team performs exercises such as performing a DNS search, a digital analysis to create a baseline of the network activity. What does a normal day look like as opposed to a day when you are being attacked or someone is trying to gain access, foothold into your infrastructure? Then they review, configure, and monitor software that is in place. Security software that is in place needs to be kept in check. They need to ensure perimeter security methods such as firewalls, antiviruses, anti-malware software are configured in the right way and are running the latest versions. An old version might have an exploit that you cannot defend, that a blue teamer cannot defend against. Therefore, the latest version is the best option that they have. They need to employ least privilege access, which means that only provide the access to users that they require. Do not provide any access that is not needed. And another exercise that they do carry out is segmentation. Divide a network into different portions so that one segment cannot be accessed by someone in that into another segment. For example, if you look at an office environment, corporate environment, an HR person should not be able to access the IT department's network. A salesperson should not be able to connect to a computer in the accounting department. Red team exercises. They perform penetration testing to see the weaknesses or what new exploits that they can perform on an infrastructure. They perform social engineering tactics, which is aimed to manipulate employees or other members into disclosing information. They intercept communication in a network to gain more information and eventually a foothold into the network. And one big thing they do that a red teamer tries is privilege escalation. They want to start from the lowest point possible to gain the most powerful access so they can go through anywhere undetected without any restrictions. We'll talk slightly about purple team. What is a purple team? Many cases, a company will hire a red team from outside and a blue team within the organization to defend against the attackers. Sometimes they do not work in harmony. This is where the purple team comes in, where the red team and the blue team work in unison, where they share information and insights to improve the overall security of an organization. Like we said before, there's several roles you can play in terms of blue team. You can either be a SOC analyst, you can be a network and what you call security engineer. For red teaming, you can be a penetration tester, you can be a cybersecurity engineer. There are different roles that one can play in today's cybersecurity job market. What you are good at is what will determine which role you will undertake. Sometimes one person will be focused on a specific role, blue team, for example, despite having skills in both blue and red. And sometimes a person may decide to exploit or work around both team skills that they have. Knowing your own personal strengths and skills will better determine what you or where you will place yourself in the cybersecurity environment. In the midst of chaos, there is also opportunity. The art of war works well with cybersecurity. If your defensive team leaves a certain portion unguarded and a new attack comes in, that exploit is an opportunity for a red teamer. The red team versus blue team. Now you have a better idea of what you want to do. Do you want to be part of a red team? Do you want to be part of a blue team? Where do your strengths lie? Thank you, and hope you have a better understanding of the differences between a red team and a blue team.